African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 15th of July, 2024. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of troops hit manpower and equipment of the 92nd Assault Brigade, the 82nd Air Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, the 36th Marine Brigade, and the 13th Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Volchansk, Lipsy, Tycho, and Volchanskaya Khutora. In addition, an attack by two assault groups of the 71st Jaeger Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces was repelled. Enemy losses amounted to up to 200 military personnel, 3 tanks, 2 pickup trucks, 2 155mm M777 howitzers made in the USA, a 155mm howitzer M198 made in the USA, a US-made and /TPQ-64 counter-battery station, and a NOTA electronic warfare station. Units of the West Group of troops occupied more advantageous positions and defeated the formations of the 43rd Mechanized, 4th Tank Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the 1st Brigade of the National Guard in the areas of the settlements of Kovsharovka, Bogoslavka of the Kharkov region, Chervenaya Dybrova of the Lugansk People's Republic, Krasny Lyman and Serebryanka of the Donetsk People's Republic. For counterattacks by assault groups of the 3rd Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and the 4th Brigade of the National Guard were repelled. The enemy lost up to 585 troops, 2 infantry fighting vehicles and 7 vehicles. During the counter-battery fight, the following were hit: 2 155mm self-propelled artillery mounts Crab made in Poland, a 155mm self-propelled artillery mount Archer made in Sweden, 105mm howitzers, L119 made in Great Britain and M119 made in the USA, electronic warfare station Bukovel AD. Also, 9 field ammunition depots of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were destroyed during the day. Units of the Southern Group of troops improved the situation along the front line, defeated the manpower and equipment of the 24th Mechanized, 10th Mountain Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Vyemka and Chesavyar of the Donetsk People's Republic. During the day, 3 attacks by units of the 5th Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were repelled. The enemy lost up to 540 troops, 2 HMMWV armored fighting vehicles, and 4 vehicles. In addition, during the counter-battery fight during the day, the following were hit: a 155mm M777 howitzer made in the USA, 155mm self-propelled artillery mounts Crab made in Poland and Paladin made in the USA, a 155mm howitzer FH-70 made in Great Britain, 3 152mm St.B howitzers, 4 152mm D-20 guns, 122mm Gvozdika self-propelled artillery mount, 122mm D-30 howitzer, 105mm M119 gun made in the USA, BMMLRS Combat Vehicle 2-1 Grad, as well as 2 electronic warfare stations. Units of the Center Group of troops improved the tactical position and defeated formations of the 31st, 47th, 110th Mechanized, 68th Infantry, 95th Air Assault Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and the 129th Territorial Defense Brigade in populated areas Dmitrov, Veselo, Vozdvizenka, Katarinivka, Timofeevka, Zeleny, and Dzerzhinsk of the Donetsk People's Republic. In addition, 6 counterattacks by units of the 41st, 151st Mechanized, 95th Air Assault, 68th Jaeger Brigades, and the 425th Separate Assault Battalion of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were repelled. Enemy losses amounted to up to 340 military personnel, 3 vehicles, a 152mm Akatsia self-propelled artillery mount, and 2 122mm D-30 howitzers. Units of the Vostok group of troops improved the situation along the front line and also defeated the manpower and equipment of the 72nd Mechanized, 58th Motorized Infantry Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 108th and 128th Terrorist Defense Brigades in the areas of Nikolskoye and Makarovka settlements in Donetsk People's Republic and Lugansko-Zaporozhye region. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 125 military personnel, an M113 armored personnel carrier made in the USA, 2 cars, 2 155mm FH-70 howitzers made in Great Britain, and a 152mm D-20 gun. Units of the Dnieper group of troops defeated the personnel and equipment of the 35th Marine Brigade and the 124th Terrestrial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Tokarevka, Ivanovka, and Antonovka, Kherson region. The losses of the Ukrainian Armed Forces amounted to up to 110 military personnel, 6 vehicles, a 155mm M777 howitzer made in the USA, a 152mm STB gun, a 122mm D-30 howitzer, and 2 Inklavin electronic warfare stations. Operational tactical aviation, unmanned aerial vehicles, missile forces, and artillery of groupings of troops of the armed forces of the Russian Federation hit manpower and military equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine in 109 regions. Air defense systems shot down a MiG-29 aircraft of the Ukrainian Air Force, 36 unmanned aerial vehicles, as well as 5 U.S.-made Mars multiple launch rocket systems. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 628 aircraft, 277 helicopters, 27,622 unmanned aerial vehicles, 551 anti-aircraft missile systems, 16,586 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,378 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 11,916 field artillery guns and mortars, 23,710 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.